Alexander Volkov makes easy work of a salty Sergey Pavlovich. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, June 22. Robert Whittaker of New Zealand reacts after his victory against plus Ikram Aliskerov of Russia in a middleweight fight during the UFC Fight Night event at Kingdom Arena on June 22, 2024 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. There are levels to the MMA game, and Robert Whittaker sent that message to everyone in the UFC's middleweight division on Saturday afternoon in Saudi Arabia. You cannot simply drop a guy in on short notice and expect him to give me a fight. Whittaker wasted no time destroying short-notice replacement Ikram Aliskerov at the main event of the UFC Saudi Arabia. Whittaker initially hurt Aliskerov with a straight right hand, but he ultimately finished the deal with an uppercut and 2 follow-up punches before referee Mark Goddard stepped in to call a halt to the fight. Aliskerov, whose only previous defeat came against Chimaev before both men arrived in the UFC, was removed from a co-main event spot in last week's UFC Vegas 93 card and upgraded to the spot against Whittaker. Aliskerov, a promising and talented contender, may get a fight with another middleweight sitting just outside the top 15 in his next bout. He'd likely love to get a title shot in his next fight, and he'd also likely say yes to a fight with Sean Strickland, with the winner getting a battle against the winner of Israel Adesanya vs. Several MMA outlets seem to agree that a Whittaker-Strickland fight is the most logical and exciting next step for the division. The Adesanya-Duplessis fight is scheduled for August 17 at UFC 305 in Perth, Australia. Whittaker has lost to Adesanya twice and Duplessis once, so it makes sense to be behind Strickland in line. Strickland beat Adesanya and lost his title to Duplessis in a controversial split decision earlier this year. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, June 22. LR. Alexander Volkov of Russia punches Sergey Pavlovich of Russia. Plus in a heavyweight fight during the UFC Fight Night event at Kingdom Arena on June 22, 2024 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. After the fight, Volkov went to Pavlovich to show respect, and the latter shoved him away in frustration. Volkov has now won 3 fights in a row, and Pavlovich, once the hottest heavyweight contender in the UFC, has lost 2 in a row. POTN. Robert Whittaker, Shera Magomedov, Alexander Volkov and Felipe Lima. Our community is about connecting people through open and thoughtful conversations.